What up, what up, what up? This is Mike, the philosopher, here with another one. And this one is a review from Christal. Okay, and she's going to be interviewing Bluu. So, without further ado, let's go in. Again, shout out to Christal. You can get the full interview in the description. Without further ado, let's go.
Let's talk about, first of all, thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad we could get you in there. I was like, we got to make sure that we get Bluu in here tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Hey, everybody, make sure you let us know that you can hear this. Go ahead and like this conversation and share it, and leave an XO in the chat. Bluu, the ladies are here for you. They are here. They are here for you tonight. Let me ask you this. What did you think of Friday's episode, watching it back? What was a surprise? What surprised you? What shocked you? What did you enjoy?
I can't say nothing really surprised me. Remember, I went through it, so it was like I enjoyed the process of everything. I was happy about it. You can see my facial expression. I was like, okay, really? But I enjoyed it. I can't say it before.
Absolutely. So have you been married before?
No, I have not.
Have you gotten close to? Is there anyone that you considered marrying in your past?
That's a really tough one. Actually, no.
Really? Okay. Was that something that you were looking forward to in your past, or is that something you even want to do now?
I'm actually looking for it now because in my past I was trying to build my foundation. I was trying to focus on, being as successful as possible, because as ladies, you guys have certain needs, you know what I mean? And then I have to understand that too, because I'm not in my hair done 24/7, but I understand there's things you have to do, but I told myself I need to be successful. So if I want to take trips, be spontaneous, all that stuff, I can support it. Okay. And go, say example, if you want to do something, the funding is there. So I took a time off and just focus on the business and my back end. So when I meet the young lady, I can give her my full attention.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As a man, we got to focus on our purpose first, because we're men, right? So we got to focus on our purpose first, build up ourselves, and figure all of that stuff out, where our drive is, who we are, and really go after, the riches and the spoils, whatever, because we know in this world that everything will follow after that. Everything will flow to you like water if you got your purpose and your situation and your money stable and figured out, So I can understand Bluu focusing on his purpose first. That's, I would actually advise all men to focus on their purpose first before they get into anything serious, because you don't want to be in love and broke, okay? What they say, romance with no finance is a goddamn nuisance. That is a fact. It is a nuisance, and no woman wants a guy that's broke or don't even know his purpose or focused on his purpose. A woman need to either see you at your purpose, see you enjoying the fruits of your purpose, or see you going after your purpose. They need to see something with the purpose. Either you're going after it or you're enjoying the fruits. Most of them want to be there when you're enjoying the fruits. It just is what it is. But there are some who will rock with you as long as they see you going after your purpose. And that's what he decided to do. I don't knock him. Every man should actually do that. And he decided to focus on that before he got married. Let's see what else he has to say.
Jamaica. How long have you been in Miami, Bluu?
Ooh, I've been here since I was in elementary school.
Okay, so you're
All the time.
Yeah, so basically you're raised in Miami.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
So almost at the same time. Being my
The questions are just coming. Yeah,
yeah,
questions are coming. So let me ask you this.
Awesome.
What type of woman are you attracted to? Like, what do you think is a good fit for you? Because it sounds like you're very level-headed. You knew that this is, you wanted to make sure that you were prepared before you actually, got ready to settle down. So what are you looking for that you think would be a good compliment for what you bring to the table?
I want a woman that is kind of the same drive and goal as me, because remember, I always strive for the best for us. So if I have a woman that's like 50-50 with me, not saying as she has to pay all the bills, no, but give me the backing I need. Be the woman, because remember, the queen, you're supposed to, and as a woman, you're supposed to make sure that I keep going and move forward. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. I want someone with goals, ambitions, the whole nines, and help me to get there. I have questions. I know I can ask you, because most of you guys can give me a different opinion from when I ask my friends. Because you're with me every day. I see you all the time. So right. I need those in my life. Okay. But that's what I really strive for.
Okay.
I wonder why he didn't go after Jonique then, if that were the case. If that's the kind of woman that he was looking for, he kind of had that in Jonique. Now the only thing left is his attraction to Jonique. Maybe he just wasn't attracted to her like that. Maybe she just wasn't attracted to him like that. From what I understand, Jonique likes chocolate guys, guys like me. You know what I mean? She likes the dark-skinned guys. So maybe that's why she wasn't going after Bluu. And maybe Bluu liked it a different type of woman himself, but I think they mentally matched up, but maybe not physically. I don't know. But it sounded to me for a minute like he was describing Jonique. So I'm curious about that, but let's go back in.
I think there's a little bit of static on you on your. Do you hear it on your end, Bluu?
No, not really. In my phone.
Okay. Yeah, when you speak, we hear a little bit.
Okay. Are we good now?
I think for right now, we'll see.
Okay.
Most people had connections that we didn't get a chance to see. So, who were your strongest connections? Who were you the most attracted to? Or did you feel that you had a real strong connection?
So, if you watched the episodes, and I actually basically said what my connections were.
Okay.
And sorry.
Sorry.
I had number 2. Remember that 2.
You said what?
I had 2, so basically no.
Okay, so you did have 2 strong connections.
No, basically no. I didn't have any strong connections. No.
Oh, okay. That's what someone said. We didn't think that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the thing. When he said 2s, he meant he had, I guess you could say, option number 2. Two options. He didn't have a number 1 option. So I know that's kind of confusing for a lot of people when he said, I got 2. But what he meant is, I don't have a number 1. I just have a couple 2s. But nobody separated themselves out to be my number 1 woman. That's kind of what he was saying. I think Jeffrey was one of his connections, and he said Marcia, which is still kind of confusing to me because Marcia was on his bottom one week and then she shot up to the top the next week. It's like, how did she get that far up on the list, Bluu? Like, but at the same time, that's what he meant. He meant 2 connections, but no number 1, no number 1 connection. So that could be a little confusing for those who's trying to pay attention to what he was talking about. But yeah.
Am I studying you? I'm studying you? Like, you're like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, okay. I'm not surprised to hear that. Let me ask you this. What did you think when Jeffrey told you and Mark Anthony that she didn't have any exes for you guys to meet? Was that strange? I mean, you said in your confessional that you thought it was a little odd, but I want to talk a little bit more about that because I thought even with Tommy allowing her to do that, I thought that was a little it was just a little strange. So what were your thoughts about how she explained that? And in your head, what did you think when a woman tells you that she has no exes? That I mean, those were really bad situations. Like, what was going through your head when she explained that?
So basically, when I first heard it, it was like, okay, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And that's all natural. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand some fathers are not great. I'm not saying I'm not picking who they are, but
Yeah.
I understand that there are some fathers who are in the lifestyle where if you try to reach out to them, she said she did, but when she said she didn't have any, there was something else more to explain. We filmed, and after we filmed, her and I spoke one-on-one, and she explained the situation with the fathers. I'm like, okay, I understand after.
Mm-hmm.
I understand then at the time when we're actually shooting our scene. But
Okay.
it gave a kind of a flag like, okay, wait a minute. No dads, 3 kids. Whoa, what's going on with you right now? It's something I gotta look for. Like, whoa, it as human nature. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially living in Miami, you see that a lot too.
Really.
Yeah, so you see a lot of like females without the father. So it's like, okay, so let me dig in more to find out. And she didn't have to tell me everything right away, but she did tell me. I understood why.
Okay.
So it was a flag in the beginning, yes.
Okay. But I would still wonder, like, even if it's not the.
Now, let me say this. I have a number of different thoughts with this. Number one, I did think that Jeffrey kind of skated out of the out of the assignment pretty much. I thought she did kind of, kind of cheat, to be honest, and did not get one of her exes. You couldn't find nobody, really. You couldn't find nobody. I find that very odd. I find that very suspicious. And it actually says a lot about you. Now, she says she only had a couple relationships, and those were the ones that went bad. But here's the deal. First of all, Bluu kind of said that you see that a lot in Miami. Okay, guys, for whatever reason in Miami, it seemed like guys bounce. Correct me if I'm wrong. That seems kind of odd for that to just happen in Miami. What is it? Everybody just smashing and nobody's sticking around? I don't get it. But it says a couple things. Number one, a lot of the guys are trash if they're doing this to their kids. I don't care if it's in Miami, wherever. If y'all doing that to these kids, you're trash. Okay? So that looks bad on the men. Number two, Jeffrey may be doing something to make these guys leave. Okay? Maybe it's a lifestyle. Maybe it's maybe it's something that she's living with, or maybe it's something that is about her that's making it not so sweet to stick around. I don't know what that could be. You would only have to be in her life to try to figure that out. I do know she has the Crohn's disease, and she has the the other kids. She says she gifted a guy. Jeffrey kind of takes me as a woman who would probably hurry up and child support a guy. That's kind of the woman that she kind of takes me as. She probably got pregnant, hurried up and child supported the guys, and they probably got resentful and then just didn't stick around. that happens a lot. I'm not saying that that's her situation, but I'm saying she takes me as one of those type of women to try to trap a guy. Um, and I know she said she gifted a guy a baby, but I'd have to hear his side of that story before I think it was a gift. Because I could see her really swindling and manipulating, because she is a manipulator. Her and Morgan are manipulators. And I could see her manipulating and swindling the guy into a baby, and then he's like, I didn't sign up for this, that, and the third, and bounce it. Now again, the dudes are wrong irregardless, because those are their kids. So even I don't care what Jeffrey has done. You supposed to be there for your kids, period. Okay, but it also says maybe there's something about Jeffrey that is not livable. You can't live with this woman. Maybe there's something, maybe even about her disposition or how she raised the kids, or maybe it's her sicknesses, or maybe it's something that is turning these guys off. One guy been gone for 6 years. I'm like, damn, what is it about this guy? Is he in jail or something? I don't know. But that was one thing that came to mind, like 6 years. For the first two kids, that he ain't seen them in 6 years. I wonder if he's in jail. But so the men are wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with Jeffrey. And the third thing is Jeffrey probably just has bad taste in men. Maybe she's not vetting these guys properly. How could you get to a point where you end up having babies for two guys who ran away? I don't understand that. Something is going on with your vetting process. Now, you could say, you never know. A guy could promise her the world and then lie and then bounce. That's plausible too. Maybe that's why she didn't rock with Bluu, but that wouldn't really make sense, because Bluu is taking care of his kids. He didn't bounce. So there's something about her vetting style that is really questionable. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of speculation. I admit all of this is speculation. I think that the guys are trash for leaving. That's static though. That's not going anywhere. That's going to be the case regardless. But the two questionable things is she vetting these guys right, and what is it she's doing that's driving these guys away? So if I'm Bluu and I hear all of that stuff, those are red flags to me too. I'm like, that's a red flag. You can't get no ex. And I refuse to believe that those are the only two guys that she's ever dealt with. You couldn't get no other ex, really. Okay. And that's what makes me feel like I put it this way. If Jeffrey got an ex and it wasn't the baby daddies, I would give her a pass. But it seems to me like she's hiding something. Like she don't want to bring nobody, not the baby's daddies or any other guy she's dated. And she want to sit up here and make it seem like, oh, she went from baby daddy to baby daddy, and then that's it. There's no more guys. That's bull. That's bull. That's so much bull. Okay, you can go in your past. Look, the way you date and the way you've been waffling and choosing practically half the cast on this show, you've been out in the streets. Stop playing. You've been dating some guys, okay? And you should be able to bring one of these guys up. That is a huge red flag to me. Okay, a huge red flag, because it says that either she's hiding something, she's maybe loose. Okay, maybe she got a long line of one night standers who smashed and dashed her, but something is going on there. As a guy, that's where my suspicions go. Guys smash and dash you, you know, pump and dump you. They do something because you can't find just one guy who's an upstanding guy who can vouch for you. You must have been out in these streets. Okay, I mean, look, that's how as a guy, that's where my head goes, because that is a huge red flag. Bluu was correct in questioning that. Okay, let's go back in.
The father of your children, are there no exes at all?
Good question. But like I said, at the time it was more why the ex was here. Doesn't matter who you were dating, because the kids are more important. So if your kid's father cannot be here, why not care about who you're dating? Those are just people.
Yeah.
They don't have no ties. After you finish dating someone, they're gone. Depends, unless you make friends with them.
Right.
But no, I want to understand what happened. So I can say two things about me where my parents were never together.
Okay.
So that's why I could understand a little differently as an island boy, and the dads are not in the life of the mom. So I understood a little more. I get it, but I want to know the reason to it. So yeah, it was a little different.
Okay. Yeah. Give us an example, because I've heard men say that a lot of times, like, women want to be courted and want to be chased.
Yes.
Give us an example of actions that a woman can do to make you feel like she is being reciprocal with your attention.
Okay. So
Well, let me answer that for Bluu. And let me make a comment first, okay? I haven't seen this. I don't know what Bluu is going to say, but let me kind of jump in here and say this. Ladies, it is like walking a tightrope with y'all, okay? It is like walking a tightrope. And this is why. Women want you to be aggressive, and they don't want you to be aggressive at the same time. Okay? It all depends on the guy that is pursuing her. Jeffrey was turned off by Blake pursuing her. Blake was like, look, me and you, we don't need nobody else. You're my one. They probably said that on the phone. You're my one, whatever. I'm your one, okay? She got turned off by Blake's aggressive nature. And then she decided to blab it out in front of everybody on a soft brag, okay? Then she goes to Bluu and say, I need you to be more aggressive. I need you to be more aggressive. Some women, it could be the same guy. It could be the same guy. She will want a guy to be more aggressive, but not too aggressive. I'm thinking of Marcia right now, right? Marcia might want a guy to be aggressive, but not too aggressive, and it depends on the guy. There's so many variables in kind of unlocking the key, so to speak. There's so many variables with women. It's like walking a tight rope. This is why guys are a lot of guys are very careful because, look, let's face it, we in this Me Too movement. Okay, we in this Me Too movement, and There's a lot of misunderstandings that's been going on. And a lot of women want men to be more aggressive. And then when men are more aggressive, oh, you being too aggressive. They get turned off, just like Jeffrey did with Blake, you know. So I would say, ladies, have a little grace. Give guys a little bit of a grace period. As a matter of fact, I will say this: y'all need to be more aggressive. The women, y'all need to be more aggressive, because in this day and time, okay, it's too fine a line for a man to figure out, certain cues. Okay, we don't know if we're the guy that you like or don't like. Okay, because a lot will determine on if we're the guy that you like or don't like. If we're the guy you do like, we could probably be aggressive, and you're probably going to come after us. If we're the guy that you don't like, oh, don't be coming on to me aggressive. Me too. So I would say to this: I know women like to be chased. Okay. I just find it odd that women have I'll just say bravery to do everything but court. I mean, they could tell a man off, they can, cuss a dude out, they could be brutally honest, but when it come to courting, I need you to chase me. Look, I'm just being honest, okay? But all I'm saying is, y'all should be more aggressive, because the men need help in this day, in this time, and in this era. Men need more assurances. We need more choosing signals from y'all, okay? One guy I would say that's probably pretty good at, kind of figuring this out is Mark Anthony. I think he knows, and it's easier for him because a lot of the women like him, right? So, or I should say Jeffrey and Mercedes. So, him getting choosing signals and stuff like that was kind of easy, and because he knows he's the guy that they like. But a lot of guys don't know if they're the guys that they like. Like the choosing signals that Jeffrey gave Mark Anthony, she not necessarily given to Bluu. So how is, and she say, you need to chase me. To me, it sounds like it's more of she's an attention seeker. To be honest, she's more of an attention seeker. Like, look, don't have me just chasing you just so you can get the attention. Okay, if I'm your guy, then let it be known. But you got to keep in mind, Bluu seen how Jeffrey treated Blake. Okay, he seen that. So a lot of guys were proceeding with caution with Bluu, because with Jeffrey, because they like, look, you trashed this guy for being aggressive. Okay, I seen it with my own eyes. You trashed this guy, and you went back and told the whole cast what he said. So now I got to move with caution with you. You know what I mean? It wouldn't make sense for me to start going after you hard after I seen how you panicked with my boy over here. So, again, ladies, it's a tightrope walk. Men gotta walk with you. Show some grace, show some compassion, and get more aggressive yourselves, because in this world we're living in, men are becoming a little less, willing to chase, and for good reason, because every time they seem to chase, seem like bad things happen. The Me Too movement, and I'm not saying it's just the Me Too movement, but what I'm saying is, when you're too aggressive, some women will put it on display. Like, yeah, he tried to talk to me, and yeah, he was all on me. He told me I'm his number one, and yeah, I told him I ain't gonna be, doing this, that, and the third. I'm gonna be talking to him and him and him. That's how Jeffrey was. And a guy is like, you know what? Why did I even do that? Why did I even be more aggressive? She'll tell one guy be more aggressive. She'll tell an aggressive guy to be less aggressive. It's confusing for men. It's just confusing. So anyway, let's go back in.
Okay.
I'm only, like I said, I'm quiet. I sit back and I chill.
Yeah.
I watch,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I articulate things that happen in front of me.
So Mimi asked, what about Jonique? Because it seemed like we saw a little bit of chemistry between the two of you. I will say this about Jonique. She came off very different when she came to this show than she did on the show, right? So we saw a totally different personality here than we saw on the show. She seemed a lot younger than most people and just a little different. And then when she came here, it just was a very different energy. So did you guys have any chemistry, or was that just more of a friendly vibe?
Jonique, I can only say like, look, I wanted to see more from her, so I reached out and I did. Jonique is very interesting young lady. She has the right person would catch Jonique, and she will actually open up a lot more.
Yeah.
Jonique has a nerd side to her, and she also has a wild side to her. So she gives you a lot of characteristic in there. But she will settle for someone that's on the same wave levels as her.
Yeah.
And that's why I give her credit. I give Jonique credit because she'll let you be, and she won't judge you, no matter if you're who you are. So Jonique is definitely someone that she didn't get a fair chance.
Yeah.
But she's definitely trying to. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. I had to pause it. Jonique will give you a fair chance. She won't judge you. Ask Blake if that's true. Okay. Jonique did a whole lot of judging of Blake. Jonique did not give Blake a fair chance. Jonique had her mindset on Blake, and it was pretty much programmed by other people soon as she stepped foot in the door. Okay? They were programming Jonique soon as she stepped in the door. And Jonique took that software and she downloaded it and started running with it. Okay, there was no safety checks, antivirus. There was none of that. I mean, I know I'm using computer analogies, but I'm just saying. Jonique pretty much hated Blake basically because she thought other people hated Blake. Again, I was not very clear on why she had such a grudge against Blake. Okay? There seemed to be nothing visually from our side, from the viewer's side, that Blake did to Jonique personally that would cause the response that she had for this guy. It was a very it almost like she was marinating in this hatred or whatever for Blake. It was she just said he's not a kind person. He's really not. And I don't mess with nobody. I mess with everybody except Blake. He not in the group. He not this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with Bluu because that ain't what I seen. That ain't what I seen at all. Jonique had her mind made up, and she had people who helped make it up for her, like a bed. Okay, they made it up for her, and she took it. She took that baton and she ran with it, sprinted. Okay, I know I'm giving all these analogies and comparisons, but I'm just saying That is not what I seen. So I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with Bluu. Uh, I don't see the Jonique that would give you a fair chance. I see. She, maybe she will if she don't have outside influence. If she don't have nothing else to go by, she will. But if she got other information and people are telling her something, let me say this about Jonique. I like Jonique. Okay, let me make that very clear. But it became apparent to me that she is sisterhood all the way. Okay, I take her to be a bit feminist. I think she's a feminist. I could be wrong, but she gives off feminist to me. She gives off sisterhood to me. She gives off modern woman to me. She gives off all of this stuff. And that's what she is. She's a millennial. She's deep into the modern woman. She's deep into a lot of this stuff. And I would probably say that mentality is not very sustaining for long-term relationships. Okay, it's just not. If you're a feminist, if you're a sisterhood, if you're a modern woman, whatever the case may be, those are not sustaining mentalities for a long-term relationship. And that's what I got from Jonique. And I also got, and this is just something about me, I got a lot of, I don't know why, I thought I seen the spirit, and this is kind of weird, I'll admit it, but I seen the spirit of a Madam C.J. Walker and Jonique. I mean, if Madam C.J. Walker was alive today, I think she would be a lot like Jonique. Okay, that spirit just kept kind of running through my head every time I looked at her. Very entrepreneur, very strong-minded, modern woman. I am who I am. I don't care what nobody think. I just got a lot of Madam C.J. Walker. I don't know why. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's a compliment, by the way. She has that energy of a Madam C.J. Walker or Oprah, and those women were not very lucky in love. They just, some could argue that Oprah is, but she ain't married, and, so I would have to disagree with Bluu, but I like Jonique. I understand where she's coming from. I understand probably the circumstances she was brought up in. I understand her generation. I understand a lot of stuff. It's just that I was a little disappointed that she let these other ladies program her as soon as she walked in the door. She came off as very, passive on the show. And when she came on Christal's show, she wanted to give you another side of herself. Let me say this. Everybody who comes on the show is doing PR work. And I'm not mad at it. Everybody is doing public relations work. Jonique, whoever else come on Christal's show. Bluu is doing it now. A lot of times when they do interviews, they want you to see a different side of them. And it's understandable. They might see themselves on TV as being this way. So when they come on for an interview, they want to make sure they show this side. Okay? This is the side that y'all been missing over here. and I'm gonna show you all of this. I'm gonna show you all of that. And that's kind of how Jonique was. It almost like she was, trying to make sure, kind of go out of her way to show you a different side of her. Almost like she was embarrassed to see herself on TV. Almost like that wasn't a good representation of who she was. So she said, when I get on this interview, I'm not going to show none of that, Jonique. I didn't even recognize that woman that I seen on TV. I'm going to give them all of this. Again, I like Jonique. I think she's dope. I think she's cute too. I just think that she's kind of being raised and brought up into a society that is probably not as knowing of how to maintain long-term relationships than in the past. And she seems to have the energy, and as long as she want to hold on to her lifestyle, hopefully she find the right guy for her. That's what I'm hoping. And I'm sure she probably will, but I just think that I'll just leave it at that, and I'll just say I like her, but when I seen her interview, I knew it was PR work. Okay, she wanted everybody to see a different side of her. Everybody does that, so I'm not hating on her, because everybody comes on, Christal, to do PR work and show you a different side of them. It's normal, it's natural. And if I was on a show, I'll probably be doing the same thing. I'm just being honest. But I would disagree that she allows you to be you, and what Bluu was saying, I don't see that. I see her being very judgmental with Blake. So all that being said, let's go back in.
But she's definitely someone should be sorted out differently.
Yeah.
Not on the outer. Try to actually understand her.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: when you are interacting, because I love the fact that you mentioned a lot of women that have been hurt kind of carry that
Right.
and don't open up, right? Let me ask you, someone earlier in the chat said that they thought that you kind of wanted somebody that's more submissive. What have you felt has been a better fit for you? Are you into women you mentioned you like women that are very ambitious, but is there ever an issue with sometimes those ambitious women not being able to let you lead or take your lead? No problem with that?
So basically what you're asking me is like, there's alpha females and there's alpha males.
Yes.
Okay. If my female won't be the alpha in certain, okay, so let's go back a little more. As a female, you guys are not going to change the oil or change the tire.
No.
Okay. So, are you good with numbers? Are you good with cleaning? Are you good with cooking? There are certain things you guys can do that we can't do.
Mm-hmm.
She can be alpha, hands down.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm good at my strong point. You're good at your strong point. We come together and be one. So why would I not be okay with an alpha female? I'm okay with it. If she knows that she wants to do this, do it.
Yes.
Let's take on me. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm sitting back chilling. Okay? You want to go take care of the finances and buy the groceries or tell me what? Okay, cool. I'm going to be that guy that's going to be like, okay, guess what? I am good at this. You're good at this. That's how partners work together. What happened to that back in the day when you're good at one thing, I'm good at another thing? We come together and make one.
And there you have it. That explains a ton right there. Okay, Bluu needs an alpha female, which I don't believe exists. I don't think alpha females, that's a real thing, but that's just me. Don't beat me up for it. I just don't believe in alpha females. Okay, but for the understanding of what he needs an alpha female. Okay, I'm about to say something that I don't want people to take the wrong way. Okay. I like Bluu. Bluu is a cool guy. And this is not good. It's not bad. It's not anything like that. It's pretty indifferent. It's just an observation that I see. I'm wondering if other people will see it. That's all. And that is, if a white guy was on the show, he will be Bluu. Okay? He has white guy energy. And maybe the blue eyes or whatever is really what a lot of sisters is kind of, chasing after, because they're giving him a whole lot of attention. Women love blue eyes, and that's universal, pretty much. That's all over the world. But he just gives me a disposition of a white guy, and I believe he does need an alpha female. These ladies, the only lady I could think of that will have sort of alpha female energy is Morgan. And I would say probably Morgan. But Bluu is not, he can't be manipulated though. So that's why him and Morgan won't work out, because he's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy. And he knows how to see red flags. I don't even remember seeing Bluu talk to Morgan at all. I don't maybe I missed it, but I haven't seen them two interact at all. So I just think that Bluu has white guy energy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? But he needs a woman who is more assertive. And this is kind of what I was saying in one of my other videos, is that he needs so much assurance from a woman in order to say, okay, this is cool. This is, this can be a good relationship. So that's the kind of woman that's for Bluu. She wasn't on the show, and if she wasn't giving him the choosing signals that he was looking for. Okay, there was only one woman who could be considered alpha, and that would be Morgan, in my opinion. And Morgan is, I wouldn't even wish Morgan on Bluu. He's too good of a guy for that. Okay. I think that Morgan, in my opinion, is a psychopath. Okay. Look up the definition of psychopath. Somebody who's not, someone who's never been in love. That's Morgan. Her own words, not mine. She says she hasn't been in love before. That's what a psychopath is. Someone who can't sustain long-term relationships. That is a psychopath. Okay? Someone who can't show any remorse or immoral. That's Morgan. Put nair in the guy's hair, had no remorse over it. Someone who can't learn from past mistakes. That's Morgan. Okay? So I do think Morgan is a psychopath. I do. But she would be the only one that could be considered an alpha female, and Bluu is not stupid enough to fall for her. So his woman was not on the show. Let's go back in.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Monday night. This was a lot of fun. And do not change. I would just say to you, do not change. Please do not change. Because that show is the show, but real life people really appreciate a good guy. Good guys do not finish last. They actually finish with an amazing woman if they just hang out.
Yeah, You know, it's amazing that all the women in the chat like Bluu, but all the women on the show did not. There is something to be said about nice guys finishing last. There is some truth to that, unfortunately. Um, some of the nicest guys, some of the nicest guys went home. Okay, Bluu. I don't know if you could say Demario. You know, the first guy, the comedian, the comic, the little short guy. He was a nice guy. You know, I forgot his name. Um, and Blake is still on the show. Now, I think Blake is a nice guy, but a lot of people don't. But he's still on the show. So you tell me, do nice guys finish last? Put it in the comments. I'd love to know that. What do y'all think about Bluu? Do you think he's in that nice guy finishing last phase, or do you think that he just needs to hang in there and find his right woman? Apparently, the women were pretty. I don't want to say thirsty, but they were pretty anxious. Let's say that they were pretty anxious to see Bluu, and he got some supporters out there. So all that being said, great guy. Bluu is dope. You know, and his woman really just was not on the show. And I think he will need a stronger, more aggressive alpha female, for lack of a better term, to have a relationship with, because he kind of needs to be, I don't want to say led, but he does kind of need to be led. So all that being said, let me know what y'all think about this. Again, I know I said, you know, he give off white guy energy. That's not a bad thing. That's not a, you know, it's just is what it is. I could be wrong about that. If y'all disagree, put it in the comments, but I don't, you know, mean nothing by it. I'm just saying that's what I'm getting from it. Yeah, he does have a different disposition, and yes, us as black people, we come in all different flavors. That's what's so dope about us. But you know, it was just an observation on my side. Let me know what you think. Put that in the comments if you agree with that. But all that being said, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, okay? And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
I love Bluu's old school vibe, you know, that protector, just treating you like the elegant lady that you should be treated like.
I got your back.